Welcome to OASIS Tokyo. At OASIS, we make short videos exploring the lives of people working and living in Japan. And this year, through our podcast, we'd like to explore that a bit further. And in this episode, we'd like to reflect a bit more about how living in Japan has affected Angelo as a person. So, yeah, Angelo, I guess, what would you say has maybe been the biggest change that you've noticed since living in Japan? Has that come through maybe some successes or maybe even failures that you've had in your career or personal life since living here?
Yeah, many things as a person. I think overcoming even failure was a big thing because in our business you always go through auditions, you
Yeah.
know. And something that really stayed with me is like an audition for a musical, you know.
Okay.
And they require to many things, many
Okay.
skills, dancing, you know.
Okay.
It's based from a very popular manga, so I really wanted to do it, you know. And it required dancing, acting, singing in both English and Japanese, you know.
Wow.
So it was very particular one. And many stages, you know, because every month you prepare and they ask you to do things, and every month you have one, you know, audition. And it's like take you like in the end 4 or 5 stages, so it's like take you like 4 or 5 months. And I reached the final, but I mean really the final, like the last two, you know,
Okay.
2 times. And I really thought I got the role for a while, but I didn't get it at the very last. And that failure, you know, is really, oh my, because, you know, doing
So much
modeling,
time.
we got too many auditions, no?
Yeah.
You learn to don't care anymore, you know? I don't even care. I don't want to even to pass audition. Sometimes I don't even prepare and you pass, you know, especially in modeling stuff. But then when you prepare so much and you're the last and you lose it, it's very hard, you know?
Wow. Especially if you're preparing not just like the same thing, but lots of different sort of like,
Yeah.
what did you say, dancing and singing and also like, you know, in multiple languages as well. It must be sort of quite frustrating and maybe a bit disheartening as well. But like you said that that's kind of helped you grow. In what ways do you think that that's had a positive impact on your life?
Yeah, because I noticed that somehow the audition like shape your kind of portfolio, you know.
Okay.
Somehow like you go, sometimes you get the job, sometimes you know you can say the lose, but it's not really a competition. You don't get the job, but still that experience shape you. And in fact, after like maybe 1-2 months after I got that rejection, let's say that I didn't pass, I got the role for the TV program that I told you before.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I guess like you win some, you lose some is
Yeah.
kind of the mentality there as well. Yeah, I think for me, like, since living in Japan, I haven't been performing or acting or anything, but definitely I think I've kind of adopted a bit of a similar mindset as well. Because I used to always think like when something didn't work out or when there was like a problem, I had to find a solution for it. But in Japanese, you know, people always say like Shikata-nai. Like I guess it is what it is. There's not really anything you can do about it. And sometimes there is just like, oh, I did my best. And that was the result. And I just am going to be okay with that and just move on to the next thing. And like, yeah, I think that that's quite important for just a personal like growth as well, right? And
I think it's also part of the Japanese culture, modern
Yeah.
culture, like try and error, you know. Because actually, I think, for example, in Italy, not so many people start from high school to do arubaito, like part-time jobs.
right.
In Japan, they start to, you know, learn on the jobs. You know, there's
Right.
this kind of mentality to go through auditions, losing many, and you learn from the auditions. We don't have like big academic schools like we have in Europe, for example. They prepare you like they shape you from the voice to the body to everything to the mentality. But they produce a lot. There are many companies that want to produce commercial and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a different way to grow up, you know.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Are there other like I guess like you could call them values that for like Japanese values or mindsets you think you've adopted that maybe you didn't have prior to living in Japan?
Maybe it's also something I learned from other because I'm learning many Japanese cultures.
Yeah.
But because of course every country have its own tradition, you know.
Right.
So there are things that activities that if I learn in Italy or in Japan have a different, you know, it's different. And for example, in Japan there is the martial arts, you know, culture, the calligraphy culture,
Right.
you know. So that, you know, teach you patience more, you know, kind of delicacy and go straight to the point, but thinking about it, not force too much, It's not about power, like martial arts, like judo, It's not like, boxing, which is power training stuff, but it's about, learning yourself, choosing your best technique.
Yeah.
And apply without using brutal force. This is one of Japanese mentality.
Yeah. So with those values then being adopted, do you think that that's maybe changed at all, like how you would perceive your idea of success? Because as you mentioned, when you come to Japan, you do these auditions, and then you lose the audition or you get rejected, and you have to sort of build yourself back up. But then as you develop that mentality, do you think that changes like your perspective on those types of things, or just maybe how you view your own like personal or career success?
Yeah, before probably I was more into like, let's put a lot of work, effort,
Right.
But then doing, especially martial arts in Japan, there are so many good sensei teachers, The teacher is not about force,
Okay.
It's not about the effort,
Okay.
So it's about, thinking, try to understand things in all his shades, For example, there is do you know the Go game, Ego?
Yes, I don't know how to do it, but I know of it.
Japan is a Chinese game, but Japan have a very long tradition here, And I started to learn, this game, which is very popular even in the manga, there's a famous manga. And for example, to see all in perspective,
Right.
It's not like chess, just trying to beat the opponent, Okay, so maybe we can win this battle without fighting too much, and move, keeping standby and go to another area, of the Goban,
Right.
So there are many ancient Japanese traditional cultures that teach you that, sometimes surrender is not a bad thing. Now I keep this on standby, and I focus on the other thing,
Okay.
Or maybe this I can lose because I want to win a bigger thing, This kind of harmony, is in Japanese culture.
So I guess like having that would then also not just apply in your, professional career life, as you mentioned with the auditions, but also in like your personal life with, I guess, just the way you would perceive maybe like other like interactions or when you meet new people. But do you think that also applies?
Yeah, because when you learn to let it go, you are more, relaxed. Your relationships, every can be, love relationship, can be business thing, Sometimes focusing too much is not the right decision.
Yeah, definitely. That's super interesting. I think the game Go seems super hard to learn. It's a super hard barrier, but
even if you don't do it as a sport, competitive sports, just learning the basics I think it really helps everyone. Just learning the theory, like calligraphy, like shodo, Japanese calligraphy. If you cannot do good calligraphy if you're rigid, if you're stiff in your mind,
Yeah.
So
Maybe I should adopt that mentality.
But you do fit, like you do some Japanese art, something like that, no?
No, I was saying earlier before we started recording that I'm very embarrassed that my Japanese handwriting is quite bad, but I think I write very stiff. My friends actually tell me I'm like quite tight when I'm writing, so maybe I need to be a bit more relaxed and free flowing when I do that as well. But obviously, like with having that mentality and then being in a creative industry, there must be things that, you have to like work harder for and put a bit more effort. How do you, I guess, like decide like what battles are the ones that you want to push harder in and what ones you kind of want to take a step back on a bit more?
It's a bit about feeling,
Okay.
When something is stuck,
Okay.
sometimes it's better to put it away, or sometimes it's better to try to overcome. I think there are sometimes when you have to fight for it. And sometimes, and it's not, I don't say that it's gambling, but it's really about feeling, knowing yourself, and it's continuing learning the process.
Yeah.
So, but that's why I continue to do both martial arts and calligraphy and even the Go game, because you learn, through patterns,
Yeah.
you learn and you're more prepared to use it.
Interesting.
Actually, I wrote, I was asked to write an article about that, about how martial arts relate to our daily life. So I'm constantly researching about that. Actually. Maybe 1 year ago, later, I will say some new things.
We'll
Yeah.
catch up in a year's time and we'll
yeah.
let you know the results. Well, obviously, through Angelo's explanation, I think it's really clear that to live in Japan, you have to be here with an intention and be very mindful of what it means to have success. And so, in the next episode, we'd love to explore a bit more, Angelo, about what your sort of visions are for the future, and I guess how you would sort of advise those who are keen to sort of do this and challenge themselves living in Japan.